Welcome back to Living with a Classic, and I'm here in the Daimler Coupe, the right-hand to left-hand drive one, and I have some big news. It's inspected forever. So went back, fixed the things that were wrong. That just means we're just in a rush to get it ready for that meet, if you remember. So now it is MOT exempt, back on the road after about 13 years or so. Steering wheel on the other side, and running as it should. So I just filled it up with fuel, and the owner is going to pick it up a little bit later today and then drive it home and finish a couple of things. I mean, everything is not complete. The whole interior is in and all of that, but there's some small, adjustments and things, and he's going to do that. He does a lot of work himself, and he does really good interior work and things. So he's going to finish it off, but we'll drive it back. We'll talk a little bit about a job like this, how massive it actually is. And then when we get home, you guys will get a walk around to see what it looks like when everything's done. But let's fire it up. And fuel gauge is working now, going up to max, so that's good. It does need, you can hear the exhaust knocking a tiny bit, and there's a, that is because someone has made their own rear valance at some point, or valence, whatever you want to say. And the holes for the exhaust are a little bit too small. So that's something he's going to sort out, either replace the whole thing or just, make the holes the size they're supposed to be. We did the best to try and get the exhaust, but it's sort of hitting on the top there. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, there are a couple of things in the conversion that I had to modify because we didn't have the right part. So the parking brake, I used the existing one, reshaped it a bit and flipped it upside down. That means that one of the trim panels doesn't really fit that well, and I have chosen not to fit it. So I'm going to show him that. He can choose if he wants to cut the trim the panel a little bit so that fits, or wait until he finds an exhaust, or what am I saying? Wait until we find a parking brake handle that works as it should. Otherwise, let me just get the windows up a bit. It's a very windy, stormy day here today. Otherwise, last time drove the speedo stopped working. That was the lower speedo drive, replaced that, and speedo is working now. We have good oil pressure, it's charging, it's keeping good temperature. It has a viscous fan delete, it's running an electric fan, and that works well. When it comes up to the L of normal, when you're sitting still, fan comes on and it goes back to the middle of the gauge, and everything there works as it should. So a job like this, how do you summarize it? It is a massive undertaking doing a right hand to left hand drive conversion. We have a couple of guys watching who don't really understand it, and I can understand you guys as well, but also when I live in the country, we drive on the right side of the road. Driving a right-hand drive car here is a little bit of a pain. It is. I mean, if you're used to driving on a certain side, that is more comfortable for you. The owner of this car, this is a dream car of his, and he wants to have it for a long time. The final thing he wants to do is put a manual in it, which he has bought the transmission and everything, and I'm probably going to help him with that. And he wanted a left-hand drive car. So I said, yeah, I will help you with the conversion. We had a couple things we bought. We had some parts, cars, and things, so we thought we could do it. And it's definitely, I think it's been worth it for a special car like this, a Daimler Coupe. So it's going to be probably one of the only Daimler Coupes left-hand drive with a manual transmission. That's going to be very cool. So how long does one of these conversions take? It's a lot more involved than you think. If you remember, you have to change out the wiring harness as well, unless you want to really go all custom, but I wouldn't do that. You need to replace the wiring harness. That runs behind the heater box, so basically everything in the interior needs to go out. Actually, the seats can stay in, but the dash, the heater box, everything that needs to go out. And everything needs to be flipped over. The heater, the wiper motor is on the wrong side. That needs to be moved over. Battery needs to be moved over. Battery cables, vacuum boosters. There's a lot of things that need to be moved over. I have lost count a little bit on the hours, but if I think about it, we are somewhere, I think it's probably easy to say that this is between 60 and 80 hours of work. Then we added some more things to the thing. I went first with mixing the engine, stake down kit, and a few other things. And then we also swapped out the IRS because we had a one that was restored next to the car, and then just swapped it in, which was a lot easier than taking this one out and restoring it. So I think about 60 to 80 hours. Is it worth it? Well, if you're paying a shop, if you're paying, for instance, me to do it, it would be expensive. But on a special car like this one, in the market where I live here, you would get your money back, because a right-hand drive coupe here is less than half the price of a left-hand drive one. So, I mean, you wouldn't be making a big profit or anything. You would probably make a small profit if you sold it, but you're definitely not losing money. It's not something I would do on a four-door. I had someone ask me about doing it for four-door because it was a very clean Series 3, rust-free, and I just told them no. It's not worth it. I said, even if the car is free and it has a ton of sentimental value, it's not worth it. I told them I don't want to take your money and do that. Like I'm doing it with the XJS. So again, that is pretty much worth it, but that was also sort of just a fun thing because I happen to have a parts car and it was a fun experiment to do. But otherwise, I think you need to go up into XJ coupes. Possibly if you have a very rare like Series 1, like I would consider it worth doing if you have like a Thunderplot 66 Series 1 and you want to swap it from one side to the other depending on where you live. Yeah, probably worth it. E-Type's probably worth it, you know, definitely. XK 150s and older, yes. But of the more modern Jags, I think this is probably as modern as you want to go, an XJ Coupe. We're almost back home. We'll try and get some nice exterior views of the car for you guys before the rain comes in, and just walk around and show it because I think it turned out great. Back home, and it's really windy. Hope you guys can still hear me. Got the storm coming, but this thing, it's done, at least with me for now. I got one thing left to do. Put the chrome bezels around the outer headlights back on because I had set the lights, the height of them, but I wanted to have it open so that the adjusters were there in case they had changed it a little bit, and we did actually change one a little bit. So now it's all set. Sitting on Kent wheels, it looks great. The owner, he says he's gonna send these off and have them painted. He bought them this color and have them more, you know, silvery. But it's new tires on it. Sitting well, it's done the alignment. And the interior is all back together except one trim panel like I told you guys about. But here we have it. Carpets are in and everything. Dash is in, dash top, underneath, everything. I still have that little switch there. I just need to check how it's supposed to be wired in for the locks to do. But other than that, it's all in, working nicely. Let us get under here and I'll show you guys the freshly painted cam covers and all of that. It has manual choke, so I put the choke knob right there. Works really well. Nice Daimler grill on it. We're gonna replace this, help him out at some point. New steel in there and put the chrome on. But otherwise, here it is. He's going to put the Daimler sticker on and a couple of those original stickers he has. But otherwise, it's all back together, running nicely. Now it has a stake down kit and the timing chain is correctly adjusted, so it's nice and quiet and working well. Those cam covers I think look great once they're painted up. So the only trim panel left to do, and that will be his choice if he wants to cut it or not, is the one over there. So you might need to cut that a little bit to get it to fit with the parking brake being on that side, but I'll let him do that. Otherwise, it's one very, very nice XJC. Rain's coming, so went into the car again. But very happy with how this turned out. It was a big project, but I have to say so myself, I'm pretty proud that I pulled it off, and it's on the road and ready to go now. If you like coupe content, well, you're in luck, because I'm about to start another customer project with one of these. Not a conversion like this, it's something completely different. You see that in a future video, and you'll see there's a couple more of these coming on the channel. One very special one that you'll see be revealed in a little bit. Absolutely love these. I think they're fantastic cars. They're quite flawed in many ways. The four-door is a much better car in many ways, with window seals and everything, but you can't beat the look of these two doors. They look fantastic. Anyways, I hope you guys really liked this series. Follow along a right-hand drive to left-hand drive conversion of this Daimler Coupe. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This was Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.